What is a tariff?
Tariffs is the most beautiful word to me in the dictionary.
A tariff is essentially a tax that's imposed by a government on goods that are imported to its country. It is the companies that import the goods into the country that pay the tariffs, with the costs, more often than not, passed on to the consumers. Here's a super simplified example to give you an idea of how it works. So I'm an Australian farmer and I sell pickles to a company in the United States. They then use my pickles in their hamburgers. Donald Trump has a bad pickle experience and decides that he'll be whacking 25% tariffs on all pickles imported into the United States. Now the US company I'm selling my pickles to, they'll have to pay a tariff on the pickles they buy off me. The tariff is a tax on the imports, remember. So when my pickles arrive in the United States, the company that has imported them would need to pay an extra 25% of the import value as the tariff. At a high level, the cost of those pickles have just increased by 25%. This 25%, it's not worn by me, the pickle exporter, it's not worn by Australia. The cost is worn by the company in the US importing the pickles. At this point, the US company that's importing the pickles can do a few different things. They can either absorb the cost themselves, pass that cost increase onto their consumers, or find a supplier within the US that can provide them pickles at a lower cost. Now, what if the US can't produce enough pickles domestically to service their own demand? Well, they'll either have to scale up domestic production or continue to import them at a higher cost. See, that's probably an oversimplified example, but it should be enough to get the point. But don't worry, if you weren't sure how tariffs worked before today, there's really no need to feel embarrassed because the White House have made clear they're not exactly sure how they work either.
When President Trump last addressed the BRT when he was on the campaign trail, his big push was on tax cuts. He's going there today as he's proposing tax hikes in the form of tariffs. And I'm curious for why he's prioritizing that over the tax cuts.
He's actually not implementing tax hikes. Tariffs are a tax hike on foreign countries that, again, have been ripping us off. Tariffs are a tax cut for the American people, and the president is a staunch advocate of tax cuts. As you know, he campaigned on no taxes on tips, no taxes on overtime, no taxes on Social Security benefits. He is committed to all three of those things, and he expects Congress to pass them later this year.
I'm sorry, have you ever paid a tariff? Because I have.
They
don't get charged on foreign companies, they get charged on the importers.
And ultimately, when we have fair and balanced trade, which the American people have not seen in decades, as I said at the beginning, revenues will stay here, wages will go up, and our country will be made wealthy again. And I think it's insulting that you are trying to test my knowledge of economics and the decisions that this president has made. I'm now regret giving a question to the Associated Press.